How's my connection? Should be decent. What's going on, guys? We are here with Ian from RomanPunks NFTs. How you doing today?
Doing great, Dylan. Thanks for having me.
Of course, thanks for coming on. So I like to start things off just by saying, what got you into crypto?
Well, I'm not going to go too far back, but crypto 2017 with the whole altcoin rush, I got into that, threw some money at it, and then just ignored it. And then 20 came around, and then it's like, oh, what's all this NFT stuff? So in January, my wife and I she's an artist, full-time illustrator. So we were like, this is crazy. Like, we can put your art on here and sell it for all this crypto. So we started doing that. We really wanted to get on Wax at first, but we were looking at what was going on with all the CryptoPunk stuff at the time. Well, what's still going on with all the CryptoPunk stuff. But so we're like, oh, well, why don't we do something that's like follows on that wave? Because it was really popular in February, March. And we had this idea for Roman cyberpunk world, like for like a few years back. And so we figured like, oh, Roman punk, CryptoPunk, cyberpunk is kind of like it's an evolution. So our whole world, our storyline is all about like some Roman world. There was a time portal and then all the dimensions intertwined. So it's like a futuristic world mixed in with a Roman style world, just kind of like cyberpunk, like Philip K. Dick and Neil Stevenson and these authors, right? So CryptoPunk was awesome because we were like, oh, we can leverage the CryptoPunk stuff. And so we did that, and we got started on April 1st just by posting NFTs on OpenSea through the ERC 1155 blockchain that they got there. And yeah, it's been good. It's been slow and steady since April. We've had some, surges of interest, but for the most part, it's been like a steady, sustainable increase. And we have a good community of people. And I'm not going to get too far into answer all your questions that you're probably going to ask me. Here you asked me where I got started, and I'm already answering all the questions about where we are.
Yeah, it's all right. We like to listen.
Yeah, right. I'm totally engaged. I'm curious. Like, can you talk a little bit about how the game is played, and what's the objective?
Yeah, actually, it's funny that you mentioned game because literally there is not really a game built into the blockchain right now. There is a game that's on Discord. And so right now it's a Discord-based, community-based gameplay that rewards the Wax and to a smaller extent the Ether NFTs for completing things in the game. So with respect to blockchain-based gaming, we are looking at Sandbox for developing more on Sandbox. But we'd have to put together more of a team to get on that, because right now it's just my wife and I and a Discord community of people and collectors and some investors that we have there on our Discord. So putting together a plan for developing a game is in the works. But right now the gameplay is Discord based. So there's a bot called DoUtil, which you set up on your Discord, and then you can create custom quests. And the quests will pop up as you're interacting on the Discord. So you just chat on the Discord, and then you'll be like, oh, here, you have to go complete this quest. So you go into another channel, and then you buy a weapon, and you beef up your character, and then you complete these quests. Now, like a small percentage of the time, you're going to get a quest that can be redeemed for a Wax card. So right now, people are in there completing their quests, and then like 1 out of every 50 or something like that, they'll be like, oh, then they can go get a Wax card. And it's all manual now. Like, we don't have any way. It'd be great to have a smart contract that connected the Discord bot. So like that would be amazing. But we do it manually now, so people just text me and they say, oh, I won this one, and then I'll just transfer it to them. So, and then we also have the casino. So there's roulette and blackjack and all the casino games, and then people collect an income every day, and like the more they use, the more money they get and stuff, and then they can gamble and then, you know, use that casino money to redeem for wax cards. So, you know, there's common, there's rare, and epic, and legendary, and mythic. So it's like depends on how high the card is, depends on what it costs from the casino. So far it's only been common ones redeemed. No one has hit the big times yet in the casino. But so that's just a summary of like how the gameplay utility is based into the community right now. But we do have plans to develop that into a more, basically a real game, and we're looking at sandbox for that right now.
So we touched a little bit before we went live on this. Was there any specific reason why you just chose wax? Because the no gas fees, high volume stuff?
Yes, correct. It's not only because of the low gas fees and the high volume, and it's also the fact that the card style is where we were headed, because we have these avatar characters. They don't have names, they don't have backstories yet, and so to build on the stories from those avatars, we moved to wax so that we can give them names and give them little flavor texts, and for the fighters we can give them stats, and then the cards can be easily traded, rather than like if you have one avatar, then well, that's your avatar, and to trade it and sell it on Ether is a lot of gas and cost. So and there's only one copy. So for wax we have more copies, people can trade them around. It's fun for that just, you know, aspect. But also there's way more of a community. I find that like the Ether holders are more like, oh, they're an investor holder, they just kind of like hold it in their wallet and they don't want to have to do anything about it. But on wax people actually like want to play, so that's why we're stoked about wax, because, you know, we can give things away for like negligible cost us nothing, like here, take it or whatever, and that allows us to build a community and just overall have way more fun.
Yeah, for sure. We do a lot of giveaways on these podcasts and Twitter and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's one thing I can say. We've talked to a lot of creators on this channel, and one thing that they all have in common is that because of wax, they're able to try so many different things, and I think it just allows you to build so much quicker.
I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
Since you're building a project on wax, were there any problems that you ran into, and what do you think could be done to solve them?
The biggest problem I would think is more like of a danger for people, and that's when you're creating your own collection, it's really easy to make mistakes and errors in, you know, how you're setting up the templates and the schemas and whatever. So, you know, what I always say is like, oh, you know, you've got to have a really good plan before you start going into it. Like at least on OpenSea, if you're creating something on ERC 1155, it can be modified. Like you still have it on in your storefront, right? But when it's on wax, once it's minted, it's like, well, that's it. You've like, if you mess something up, you've got to go delete the whole collection and start a new one or something, right? Like, so I would say that for wax to improve and become even more user friendly, one thing would be to have a better system for inputting the information that would make it more error free. Like you can maybe like upload a whole spreadsheet or whatever, like on their Atomic Hub interface. You know, I would say that's probably one thing that they could improve there. Like NFT Blocks has offered a lot of building off what Atomic Hub is doing, but it'd be nice if Atomic Hub were to a little bit more user friendly about platform.
Agreed.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you about NFT Blocks. I made a tutorial on it and I just started using it. I feel like it just makes things so much more simple versus just the Atomic Hub. So yeah, that's definitely a great tool.
Was there any inspiration?
It allows for the drops, the packs, and the blends to be done so much easier. Like really, I wouldn't even try to do them on Atomic Hub. So I would just go immediately to NFT Blocks. And the reason I say would is because we haven't done our drops or blends or packs yet. Right now, we're just minting our collection, at least the first 100 pieces, so that we can do the first pack. Part of it is, like I was saying earlier about the gameplay, we want people to get the NFTs based on community engagement rather than just going and buying them. And that also makes them more builds a little bit more of a mystique and also rewards the early adopters. So yeah, that's what we're doing right now. There is also another project that we are collabing with called Pixel Labs. And they have a pixel token. So what we've done is we've offered up all of our number 2 mint pieces for sale with pixel tokens. So they're in the Pixel shop, and they can be purchased through Pixel. So this was an objective to get a number of different wax pixel art based communities together that can share this one token and build it on that utility.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was going to ask about the pixel art. You said your wife or your girlfriend makes all the art. Was there any inspiration as to why you chose pixel art? I mean, I know like experience like Mario and all that stuff definitely inspired me, but what about you?
Yeah, I mean, like what you said, Dylan, like, I mean, I'm a child of the 80s and the 90s, so all that stuff, takes you back. And, it's amazing that it's all kind of coming full circle now. So it's just like, you never thought it would, like all these games when you're a kid, like you'd think they would come back in style, like, but it's like fashion, it's like the fashion, the clothes from the 60s come back. Well, it's sort of the computer games, right? Here we are playing with block characters, even though we have the ability to make like almost, perfect looking human faces and stuff. Like, so it's definitely a nostalgic thing. But also it's about the simplicity as well, because we're doing 1,000 handmade RomanPunks. There's not any generative art going on here. So to be able to easily modify things and copy and paste things on top, Pixel has made it most user-friendly, as well as the aesthetic. It just fits what we're interested in, and what it seems like the public that are interested in what we like are also interested in that art style. So we get a lot of positive comments about the aesthetic, and we are looking at what else is going around, and it seems like that's what it seems to be taking off right now. So we're stoked on that.
For sure.
Do you have a grand vision for how you think this is going to play out, let's say 6 months to a year in the future? Or do you think more than anything, it's going to be community engagement that decides the future of this project?
Yeah, community engagement is what starts all the stuff that it could lead into, because it's just like if you're building a business, you need to have people on your team that you can trust. And in order to get people on your team, you need to have a community first. Like you always see about successful businesses, they always have families, right? They're always like a family business or whatever, right? So to just come out of the gate and be like, boom, we're going to do this project, let's hire some people and bring on some team members. Like, I don't find that to be, in my experience, sustainable growth for a business. So, think about it as a business. We want to spend like at least, a good part of a year to build up enough of a community where we have people we trust, then people that are genuinely interested in being and working with us and collaborating with us. So, so we do have a roadmap, which is you can see on our Medium page now and on our website, which is romanpunks.io or romanpunks.medium.com, and it gives more details about what we know, where we're headed and what we're aiming for. Selling enough of the Ether and Wax NFTs from between now and the end of the year will allow us to develop this into a sandbox project, develop comic books, because we have a whole storyline and we have all these characters. So that's where we're going with this, is like building out the story, right? So we do the faces, then we do the cards, then we do the story, right? So there's like a step-by-step process to creating these characters, and it's just essentially a world building project, right? So, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Right. And a picture has 1,000 words, right? A picture can say 1,000 words. That's awesome.
Can you touch on like the different types of cards, like the famous and civilian, all that kind of things? I don't think I ever got into that really.
Yeah, no, there's civilian, and then famous, and then fighter. The reason that we have them split that way is because we have been doing gladiatorial tournaments. We haven't done them on Wax yet, but we have done them with Ether. So the people that own the NFT that fits in one of the fighter classes can enter it into gladiatorial matches where they can win NFTs. So last one that we did, the winners won a Cyclops and a Medusa NFT, which were really epic, well, rather mythical NFTs. So we plan to offer those again coming up later in the year in October, so that people can enter their NFTs into these gladiatorial matches, and it's just more fun, right? And community and giveaways. So that's why we have them classed like that. And then for famous as well, it's because the schemas are a little bit different. Like the famous ones don't have a variety attached to them, because those are not going, there's only one, like there can only ever be one, you know, like the Highlander can only be one. So that's why we had to have different schemas for the famous or the common. And then the fighters have different schema because they have a strength rating and a defense rating and a speed rating. So we had to have those aspects, those properties on there that didn't apply to the others.
Right on.
Yeah.
This is off topic a little bit, but
Sure.
What's your favorite wax project thus far?
Oh,
Other than your own.
It changes all the time. I'm really big in some of the big name brand ones on there. Like, I was stoked when Funko went on. I'm stoked that Atari is on there. And the reason I say that is not to take anything away from the community projects that are going on there, but only because I think that those high profile projects being on Wax is what is going to make Wax even more a success. That's what's brought it, keeps bringing it up to the next level. So I'm really, stoked to see when there are other high profile projects going on. As for other projects that there are out there, one group that I really like is a new one. I'm going to give them a little bit of a shill now. It's called the Clowns, because they have been with me and with us for a long time. The artist is Oliver Hassel out of Birmingham in the UK, and we just think he does really good art. And so one of our collaborators started this Agora group, which is a community of different wax projects. And so they brought him in, and they're starting to do a lot of drops and blends of his project. So it's called The Clown. So that's my answer. There are so many others I can talk about them for a while, but
yeah, you should look up the Wax Advisory Council if you're not familiar with that. They have like a council that's running the wax behind the scenes, and there's like Marvel and a couple of like big names like that. You should look that up if you're not familiar with it.
Yeah. The other one I would say is Neon Space. I really like what they've been doing with their Marvel giveaways, with the Marvel runs, and they also have some really cool NFTs that are based on neon signs, and they have some really cool guys running things over there. The other one that I'm really interested in, but I'm not up to speed enough on it, is Wax Arena. I'm really curious to see how they're facilitating their battles there, because we're doing some battle stuff with ours. So I want to see, how they do that, and I'd be really stoked to be part of their community projects as well. Overall, it's just amazing to see all these projects that are bringing, like, it's not like on OpenSea and Ethereum, you have like the projects seem to be more isolated, right? But on Wax, they can actually integrate a lot better just because of the way that the blockchain is structured.
Yeah, I tell people that every time. I say collaboration is huge because it helps everybody out. It's a win-win for everybody. Just like you coming on here helps us out, and it also helps you out. It's like, can't beat that.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, no, it's definitely important to, and now we're at the point too where we have enough that we've developed for the project, and we have enough that we can talk about. Like earlier on, we were, more reluctant to come onto these types of programs because we don't want to talk about too much about where we're going. We want to be able to say, oh, this is what we've already done, kind of thing. So yeah, it's, at this point, it's like, well, we have been producing stuff since April, so we have a lot to show for it already, and we have a really robust Discord group, so that if your viewers were to see this and they're like, oh, let's go check out these RomanPunks guys, they would be like, oh, okay, this is actually a real thing that has a lot of potential to go somewhere. So that's why kind of now is a good timing for that for us. So thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Do you want to give any links to where people can find you?
For the text or whatever you can share with your community, but RomanPunks.io is easy. You can find links there. Also, we have a link tree, RomanPunks. But really, if you want to find us, just go to Google and type RomanPunks, and you'll get everything: Twitter, website, all that stuff. RomanPunks NFT is our Twitter handle.
Awesome. Yeah. Anything else you want to wrap up with, Cody?
Just one last thing. I wanted to know, just for the viewers, are there any key dates they should mark on their calendars for the RomanPunks?
There aren't any key dates now. We just want people to come and experience the project. And as we do have an announcement coming up, we will share it with you guys so that you can forward it to your community. Right now, there are a lot of things that are in the works, but they're too early to announce. Like we have we have an official integration, which was really exciting to get announced yesterday with Chainlink. And so we're utilizing the Chainlink verifiable randomness function to verify winners of giveaways, as well as select a monthly dividend recipient awardee. So we use their blockchain VRF so that everyone knows that it's legitimate. Like the person that receives this prize actually received it. It's verified on blockchain, rather than oh, we have to trust them that they spun the wheel the right way or whatever. Like there's no tampering. Like we couldn't tamper with it if we even wanted to because it's Chainlink. So that's really super awesome to be able to integrate with them on an official basis. And there will be more announcement about how that's going to work coming up. So I'll make sure and share all the announcements and dates and drops and whatever that's coming with you guys, so you can forward that off to your viewers.
Awesome. Sounds good. Yeah, we really appreciate it. Thanks for coming on.
My pleasure. Yeah, anytime. Happy to do another one. Dylan, Cody, just let me know. And if there's anything else, any other questions you have for me, just shoot them to me and I'll be happy to answer.
Sounds good. See you next time.
See you next time, fellas.
Bye.
Cheers.